My name is Janelle Robinson and I own Burn Bags USA. I've been a firefighter for about 4 years, and when I first joined the department, we got a whole bunch of new fire hose, and I asked my chief if I could take some home to try to play with. I remember cutting it into pieces and sewing strips of hose together, and I had no idea what I was going to make with it, but if I folded them in half and sewed the side seams together, I put some handles on it and I had a bag. So that was one of the first things that I started playing with. I've always been a seamstress. Back in the day, I used to make my kids' clothes, and I've always been very comfortable at a sewing machine. So when I made my first bag, I made probably 3 or 5 of them of that design, and I gave them to people to try out. And I had a problem with the seams coming out. Fire hose is a very unique, it's not a typical fabric, it's not made to be sewn together with other things, so I had to learn how to work with that particular type of fabric. And I ended up learning that I have to use a stabilizer behind it, and that keeps the seams from pulling out. So after about 5 different design changes and figuring out, the original bags were made of all fire hose. But that was really hard to turn inside out and to work with. My fingers would hurt every time I'd finish making a bag. So I started using the center strip as fire hose and the side strips as wax canvas. So that made it much easier on my fingers to work with, turn them inside out, and they were more pliable. Then I tried dyeing fire hose and seeing if I could make it other colors, but ultimately I came back to keeping the fire hose in its original form. I don't color any of it anymore. And I just changed the colors of the wax canvas that surrounds the fire hose. Originally the fire hose was vertical and now it's horizontal, and that too was a design change trying to fix a problem. So I learned that if the fire hose was on a weight-bearing seam, then it would pull out. So that's why the hose now is on a front pocket, so there's no real weight on the seams of the fire hose. I tried out about 5 different leathers, and I wanted something that was movable but very durable, pretty thick. So we get water buffalo leather by the hide. It's a whole half of a water buffalo, and we cut every hide into strips, 5/8 inch. We have a strap cutter that cuts the straps, and then we cut the straps to length and we round the edges and we punch holes in them. Then to put the straps on the bags, we use copper rivets, and that's a type of rivet that will never come apart. So every part of research and development that I put into this bag is totally for durability, and so this bag will last a really long time. My first pitch to selling the bags was to fire wives. I'll never forget a comment that one of the wives put on Facebook after her husband from my department got her the bag, and I didn't realize how much the hose would mean to wives, knowing that their husbands used this hose in a fire to save people's lives and to save their belongings. So it really meant a lot to the wife knowing that her husband used this hose. As word of the bag started to spread through the firefighter community, other local departments donated their hose to me, so I was able to make bags from different fire stations, and then those wives wanted to purchase the bags. As the business grew, I realized that I needed help with sewing. So we have a local recovery program here in our town called Tabitha Ministry. And the women are first in a 12-month recovery program. They're usually either are coming out of addiction, out of prison, or abusive relationships. Now that I had help making the bags, one of my favorite things that came along with production and making a lot of bags is we started doing authenticity tags. And that is a number that each bag comes with. It also tells you on the card that comes in the bag what fire department that particular piece of hose came from. Every purchase comes with a giving bag, and that's something that we would like for you to fill with goodies and drop off at your local fire station. After about 200 bags, I had a store in Edenton, North Carolina called their Gregarious Goose contact me and asked if I would sell wholesale. So that was the beginning of being in stores, and now I'm in a little over 50 stores across the United States. As I started selling more bags, I needed a way to streamline the process of getting orders and shipping them, so I started a website. I'm a volunteer firefighter here at this station, And to me, that means just being here to support the firefighters and help whatever way they need me. If that means making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and bringing them water, I'm okay with that. But if that means being on the hose and fighting fire in the house, then that's cool too. I hope your burn bag brings you joy knowing that it helps save the lives of people and their belongings, and that it's supporting women who are in recovery getting back on their feet. Thank you for supporting me and burn bags and the women behind the business. It means a lot to us.